evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. We're almost about a month removed from the Cross Soul set being released. And while some people have thought it's been the worst set of existence, people such as myself have thought that this set has blown my mind. Like, there are so many diamonds in the rough within this set that it's just unfathomable. But what really did Cross Souls have an impact on us in this meta, and what will it do for us for the next metas and for futures to come? When we start talking about this set, I feel like we should at least start with the best card in the set. The card that has obviously made an immediate impact to our meta. Lose one turn, and this card's just freaking amazing. It's Skill Drain Jr. Actually, since YCS Columbus, Lose One Turn has been ruled exactly like Skill Drain. I know, it doesn't say face up, but we can get into that in the comment section. I'll deal with all that later. Because Lose One Turn exists, Cleforts became an absolutely powerhouse deck. Being able to play 3 skill drains, or 4 skill drains if you want to play 3 Lose One Turn in the skill drain, allowing Clees to do exactly what they do best. Put out floodgates into the field, and then being able to tribute summon for really strong Clee monsters. Now granted, this has completely changed how Clee players play Clefort just a little bit. Disc isn't the best card in the deck anymore. It still has the same concept of being able to slow down your opponent's monsters, being able to special summon all of your Clee monsters, then tribute them off, normal summoning this super Clee monster that does something, and then being able to get more effects off of the Clee monsters you tributed with. This deck has become, like I said, a powerhouse and has a really favorable matchup against any deck that's special summoned, such as Necros. It already had a great matchup against Shadal, but let's not talk about that. Because Clee became such a great deck, Burning Abyss automatically became a great deck. Why? Because Burning Abyss' easiest matchup in all time is probably Clefort. Being able to destroy their scales before they can, pendulum summon, being able to destroy Lose a Turn because it doesn't bother you, Burning Abyss instantly became a powerhouse. So now we have a new trinity. It would be Necros, Burning Abyss, and Clee. But wait, there's more. I feel like Lose a Turn actually opened up a lot of avenues for other decks as well, such as Volcanics, Chain Beat, anything between. But with the prevalence of Burning Abyss and Clee, Shadows, Ritual Beasts, and a plethora of other decks became instantly viable. Because the meta isn't so reliant on Necros, or because another percentage isn't Necros, other decks can now thrive and play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because the Necros matchup won't be as prevalent, quote-unquote, as we would seen before. This meta is definitely going to start shaping into a different format just because of this one Lose a Turn card, instantly making every other deck not Necros better, directly or indirectly. If the Cross Soul set was the 2015 NFL Draft, then Yuki Usagi probably would have went first overall. Actually, there's no reason to think that Yuki Usagi wouldn't have went first overall. The only problem with Yuki Usagi going first overall is that it's like Jamarcus Russell. It was a complete bust. Yuki Usagi has made zero impact on any tournament level event whatsoever, or at least any important one to the Cali Effect. Yuki Usagi is definitely not worth this price right now yet, because while people do have the assumption that Yuki Usagi is a bad card, for the most part, if you look at Yuki Usagi's stats, you see a huge upside with a huge potential and an amazing effect. In a format where a deck that were required to activate its effect and also with mistiming on its graveyard effect, Yuki Usagi would be a godly card. For example, Kaiser Nova would be the perfect card for Yuki Usagi to negate if there were a deck that had effects like Kaiser Nova. Kaiser Nova once per turn attaches a material, but it misses timing on its graveyard effect. If Yuki Usagi came into a format with cards like that, then oh my god, Yuki Usagi is a $90 card again. You wouldn't have guessed, right? Yuki Usagi also has some amazing stats. I mean, it's a level 3 psychic tuner. Should I even say more? Oh, let's go further. It's a light target. So it's BLS food, it's Chaos Sorcerer food, it's emergency teleport food. I mean, if you wanted to, you could summon it in honesty. Yuki Usagi has all of the perfect stats going for it right now. At least, right now. We don't know exactly what will happen in the ban list for the future, but I doubt any of those cards that I mentioned would be touched. Yuki Usagi is definitely a gem, a diamond in the rough, a card that could be good in a certain format under the right stipulations. But for right now, it's probably one of the worst secrets in the set. I mean, unless you're pulling Sophia, or unless you find someone that really wants a Yuki Usagi, not really worth it right now. Next on this list, people would have thought would have been the eventual replacement for Mystical Space Typhoon, Galaxy Cyclone. Really interesting card we have going there, but I would like to digress. It is not a replacement for Mystical Space Typhoon. Mystical Space Typhoon, in my opinion, is still superior to Galaxy Cyclone in almost every way, shape, and form. But why is it on this list then, CaliEffect? Well, because I might have to retract my last statement. Galaxy Cyclone is amazing. It's a godsend. It's better than Mystical Space Typhoon in certain decks. We have to remember that a lot of decks don't like being floodgate locked, such as a lot of decks that send cards from the deck to the graveyard. Infernoid, Ritual, well, I wouldn't say a Ritual Beast. Infernoid, Lightsworn, Burning Abyss, 3 decks that do not like to be floodgate hit. Well, it's really hard for them to search a Mystical Space Typhoon because it's unsearchable, but it's a lot easier for them to mill the Mystical Space Typhoon. In comes Galaxy Cyclone. When you banish Galaxy Cyclone, you can destroy a face-up floodgate that your opponent controls. Where has this card been our whole lives for all our Burning Abyss, Infernoid, and Lightsworn players? This card completely says, buy Mystical Space Typhoon in every mill deck ever. This card's really good at doing one thing. If you draw it, you blind hit something. You don't care. You're milling cards anyways. If you mill it, oh well, my opponent can't activate Floodgate, so I'm going to banish the Galaxy Cyclone. For some reason, unless they're manning Imperial Iron Wall, which would probably be screwed anyways, then it's pretty much going to get the job done. Galaxy Cyclone is a very interesting card. It has double destruction and it's searchable. I know, you probably will never search it, but I just thought I should mention that it is searchable. Very good card. The next card on this list has been like, where have you been all my life? This card is nothing less of amazing. Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. And if it ever debuted in the Duelist Genesis or any time in the Synchro era, this card would have been as the greatest card of all time. Its first effect is if you can negate level 5 or higher monsters. The second effect reads, you can negate level 5 or higher monsters. And then to add on top of it, it gains the monster's attack. Like, this card's amazing. This card actually has a really good matchup against Necros. It's decent against Cleaford. It's alright against Shadows. And even further, it has more properties when Synchros become big and when Fusions become big. Or even when big level summoning from the deck or hand, whatever Konami decides to come out. This card has so much potential, it's not even funny. And 11-7 Synchro, what are you kidding me? Summon Mathematician, Dump Felice, Synchro Summon? Oh my god, this card's amazing. The reason why it hasn't been making its price spike or whatever is because while it is good, the synchro summoning mechanic is a dying art. We need we need a lot better synchro decks for this card to be able to manage. And decks like Yang Zing, it's even further beyond it. But outside of Yang Zing, there's not really a lot of other great synchro decks. Definitely in due time, this card will have its time to shine and it will be a very expensive card in the future. The last diamond in the rough that we're going to talk about is Tellarknight Tamale. You already know, CaliEffect has that one card in every set that he cannot enunciate. This is this card. I'm just going to call it Tellarknight PT if that works for you guys. Tellarknight PT already makes waves in the OCG. There's Cyber Dragon Infinity and then there's Clown Bay Control. Now think about what Konami would give us as TCG exclusives or even great rank 5s in the future that would make this card amazing. This card is, let's just completely skip that if you attach 7 materials to it, you get to skip your opponent's turn, or the fact that it can attach materials on its own from your extra deck to it. Let's talk about the card itself. The more Konami makes rank 5 monsters, or the more Konami produces Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they'll make rank monsters. The more they make Exceed monsters, they'll make rank 5 monsters. The more rank 5 monsters they'll make, they're bound to slip up to make that one rank 5 monster that will even break this card beyond existence. We already have answers to dark decks in Constellar, Satellar, Mayteller, Valeller, Diamond. We already have great answers into the opponent's summoning board with Constellar Pleiades. If somehow you ever wanted to play it, there is Vampire Brown. This card has a ceiling that hasn't even been touched yet, and the only thing we're doing is waiting patiently in the dark for Konami to make the wrong card. Well, that's about it for all of the broken cards that Konami has made in this set. There's actually a plethora of other ones, and I want you guys to list them down below. Thank you guys for watching another segment of The Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.